Hi guys, it's me Ty here, and I'm gonna review the Farmall H and the Farmall M tractor. And the ones that we all had were the wide front ones, and um, yeah, and I've worked for like my grandparents. They were older when they had us, so out on the reservation, they actually farmed a lot with the M's out there and the H's, and then with my stepdad, we actually had an H as our, with a narrow front though, with a belly mower on it. And the first thing I'm gonna say about both these tractors is they do not have live PTO, you guys, but they do have foot clutches in them. So these did have the hydraulic hoses on the back of both of them, I believe. And what would happen though is with the belly mower, that runs off of your PTO. It's got like a pulley that's straight on the back, and then it's got a pulley that's down to the bottom on top of your belly mower. I think ours is like 6 foot, or it's a big lawnmower. Well, whenever I'd be mowing around a tree in our yard, I would step in the clutch, and of course it would kick out that the PTO would shut off at that time, so it wouldn't mow because I had to drive really slow. So um, when I was a kid, I hated uh, tractors that did not have live PTO back then. And now, as an adult, now it's you kind of learn to deal with it and do the workarounds and adapt. So um, with so that was my first experience actually running the H's there. And then with the M's, one of my old bosses I worked for on a farm as a hired man, he had an M that was like in mint condition. This guy just took care of all of his stuff. And the M was a bigger tractor, and this one had a wide front on it. And the first time that I was going to use it, he went ahead and he hooked it up to a manure spreader. It was like the old toy ones that we all had, like in the 1990s when I was a kid. It was I'm sure it was like a New Holland or International. With this guy being a big International fan, it probably wasn't International, but I always think of the New Holland ones where they got tandem axles underneath of them, and they're long, and they got the two beaters on the back, maybe just one beater, to and then the sides are really short on them. So I was there with the loader tractor, and I was just dumping manure in there like crazy, and I mean this was wet manure. And I hop on the tractor and start driving across the yard, and there was a little washout. Like it wasn't even deep, you guys. It wasn't bad at all. And I wasn't going that fast. And I went through that washout, and the drawbar hitch snapped right off on that tractor. And it wasn't right on the end where you would think. It was all the way up under this, probably near between the front of the seat and the foot pedals underneath there. And that just absolutely amazed me that a tractor could not handle the weight of a little freaking manure spreader like that. So the farmer, he had his son come over and weld up that hitch and repaired it. And the second time of running that tractor, they decided to fill up the crib feeder and hook it up behind that tractor. And I was supposed to drive out into the pasture and deliver it to the cows. And it ran good and everything. But the thing that I did not like about it is the seat. I don't think it even had a shock absorber on it. And if it did, it obviously didn't work because it was like riding on just a normal chisel plow shank where it's just curved like a U. So it would have this much travel. It would travel up, down. And me at that time, I think I was 23 years old. It was hard as heck on my back. You should be able to handle all that. That was hard on my back. So I really, I didn't like the M's at that point either. But my one grandpa, they had their M tractors, their H's, and their Case 930s, and they bought all of them brand new, and that's all that they farmed with their entire careers. And they did a lot of sickle mowing with those M's, and yeah, you would think that'd be so expensive with gas, but when you get to write it off as a business expense, I guess it really helps out. And what else and their M's, I know that they always had F11 and F10 farmhand loaders, and they both have their self-contained um, hydraulic pumps there. They just hook onto your PTO, and The oil is either stored in the arms of the loader or actually in the frame of the loader. And that worked out good for them there, other than not having live hydraulics. But I think a lot of theirs, I believe all of theirs, they added on live hydraulics. I believe that it just bolts onto your distributor and it actually runs off your distributor gear on the front of the engine. But it doesn't last that long because it's the aftermarket thing. And I think you just wear out your distributor gears and you break the distributor and then you got to buy a new one. But with how much aftermarket stuff there is for the M tractors, you can keep those tractors on the road forever, just like the Ford 8Ns and 2Ns and 9Ns. They still make all those parts, even those tractors are 70 to 80 years old. So they're still totally relevant tractors. But honestly, if I think that would be fine for like somebody with just like a little ranchette. If you got like 4 horses out there for your kids to ride, if you like riding horse, and M is just fine because you don't have to worry about a hydraulic system because it's all it is that pump on the back, and you can buy those pumps for like $300 at your local farm store. You don't have to go to a tractor dealership, nothing. So they are very easy to keep on the road, and you don't have to pay a bunch of labor to a mechanic. So, what else? Yeah, because honestly, if I was in the market for a tractor, you guys, I would get an Oliver 88 diesel. I really like those. They sell for about $2,000, and then you can buy a F11 loader for them or a dual for $500. And there you actually have a foot clutch, which I guess those do too, but it's a diesel, so it's more efficient. And I used to rake like 2,000 acres of hay with those 88 Olivers. They were nice. It's just that's tough to find parts. You have to go to tractor salvage yards for them. And what else? They did not have power steering, but which the H's and M's did not either. But what else was I going to say? Oh, they have live hydraulics. If you go with an Oliver 88, they got live hydraulics. You guys will be happy with that. So that's my viewpoints on the H's and M's and my experiences with them. And hope this kind of helps you guys to make a decision because they are cheap. I remember you used to be able to buy them. I used to see them for sale all the time with a wide front, with an F11 loader and grapple fork on them for picking up hay bales. It was $1,400 in good running condition. And I remember a lot of my friends, they would buy them for $600 to $800 is what they used to pay. And they would actually like chain a pole, a long pipe inside the bucket, and they would use that to lift up rafters whenever any of the boys were putting up a 2-stall garage when they in town or anything like that. So, all right, if you guys like this content, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll keep kicking these videos. All right, take care.